I still don't get notifications.
I just started getting them again.
Weird.
I re-upped, I guess.
We hope to provide some new developments in the basement studio because we still have an opening. We have an opening for a subscriber. Please submit your
We
paperwork.
never got that one.
We lost him. We haven't found him yet. Everyone's out looking for him. As far as I'm concerned,
Elusive son of a gun.
4.17K people are on the lookout for this one person.
What could we have done to this person?
Oh, plenty.
Really? Seriously?
Plenty.
Wow.
All I can say is
We could have said something that might have made him feel yucky.
that's true. You might have heard what we actually talk about before the mics
Ken
go
says
on.
a lot of things
true.
that make me feel yucky, so I could probably, I guess, really
enough.
agree with that. I'd
We
say
got
I'd be okay with that. That's why they left.
This is the biggest game we've had in forever. Go ahead, sir.
Win a bye week feels like a win.
What the?
When you come out of a bye week and you're better off in the
did.
playoff picture, it's an amazing thing.
What happened?
I've opened the show many times going, what the F is going
Yeah.
on?
That's true.
In football, in the NFL. And yeah, how do we enter a bye week out of the playoffs and exit the bye week in the playoffs with an opportunity to close out, what did I say, 130-minute ball game?
Yeah.
And put ourselves in a really comfortable position? I mean, what the hell is going on?
This is the new school winning off the field, sir.
New school.
This is the Rivera winning off the field.
Welcome to Thank God It's Tuesday. Welcome to After the Whistle, the official at Commanders after show of Hawks Haven and First Amendment Sports. I'm Ken Marangola, joined by Kevin Ricka.
What's up, everybody? Let's get our asses into prime time on Sunday.
Prime
for
time.
a divisional. Oh, it's going to be a clash. We haven't felt like this in forever, man. This feels great. There we go. What do you got?
You heard from Tim Strachan already?
I'm going to blow you away. It actually is a pretty wonderful time of year right now.
Woo!
I'm actually
Wow.
feeling the Christmas spirit, and I have a lot to owe to this football team for allowing
This
me
guy.
to totally
Like a
enjoy
kid again.
the holiday season.
Did you lose your Grinch costume,
I don't
sir?
know, man.
All right.
It's all happy and smiles over here, dude.
It's all
I love
happening. It's all happening here at First Amendment Sports. Please feel free, be a subscriber. It is free. If you hear something or say something or see something on the board or show tonight, throw us a thumbs up. In the meantime, we're going to get right to it. Now, we're 2 weeks away from the dreaded tie, but the benefit, getting that result, which we called it a result, right? That's like the soccer terminology. It's a result, but second half of the game starts in prime time on Sunday night, and how do you benefit from being off? You're a good team. Good teams benefit from teeny breaks in the season. If you want to call a tie a break, fine, it's not a loss. If you want to call getting the latest bye week I can ever remember, when a couple of guys may just have needed it for the stretch run, that's a
You always
break.
need it at this time of the year.
Yeah.
Coaches always love to have right in the middle of the season or later.
If you can save that trump card for later in the
Yes.
season after you've been waiting all game,
Yeah.
and it's the final time you can play it, it's
And
pretty
it's still
sweet.
be in it, still be alive.
And it works out. It works out tremendously well.
If you're 4-8 or 3-9 and you get a bye week, it's like great. But
Right.
when you're alive, a bye week, it's still compelling, it's still interesting. There's still stuff going on affecting you.
Another reason why the tie wasn't horrible, it was kind of odd to go into a bye week with a tie, but we didn't go into it with a loss. And then Gano, we know he's got a cannon. So once that didn't go through, I was like, oh, okay, here we go. And now all the NFC stuff, all the wins, none of that matters. It's this game this Sunday. No one's tying with us. There's not going to be a tiebreaker. We've effectively gained or lost a half a game. That's what it is. So the deal is we take care of the Giants. We're in I think it said we're in 90% possibility to go to the playoffs versus 40 if we lose. I mean,
That's right.
This is one of these times that you look at it and you go, all right, we got a chance here in prime time to do work against a team that we're better than at home.
We're better than we get him at home and with rest. But the ability to write a script that sends us to the playoffs this week against an NFC East foe, the Giants are getting boat raced by the NFC. So if we stand ahead of the Giants in anything, the Giants are not going to win. I think the other thing about the playoff race, just in terms of things we shouldn't really care too much about right now, is the way that the league is shaping up. And I will argue that the rankings are shaping up favorably because we would, in the current setup, which really won't change too dramatically, except for Our 2 spots at 6 and 7, and the top 2 spots at 2 and 3, which, Eagles are gone. They're number 1. And then it's between the Vikings and the Niners, which is fascinating if you really think about it, because the opportunity exists. Both of those matchups have all kinds of subplots and drama. One in particular we should want. The other we should be weary of. And I think it's trending the way we want. Take it away.
I mean, you're hoping for a trip to Minnesota.
Yes.
Because I'd like to see Taylor on the ride back home sipping a Busch Light with a big old chain on. Just chilling.
It's possible.
I'm
I'm
just
not
saying.
wishing for anything. A lot of stuff has to
I'd
happen.
prefer that.
You want
I am
revenge.
too. I do too.
I'd prefer
We're out
that.
for revenge.
But we got to take care of number 1 first, and where the
Yes,
chips fall.
yes.
That's all I'm
we
saying.
Just get way too.
I don't want to. I
too
just
excited. I
always
can't-
be careful about rounding up the football coach in you and talking about stuff like that.
Especially when you look at some of the guys we got. I mean, at San Fran, we got a divisional. Hey, look, Cleveland, who knows? All of a sudden. And then, of course, the Cowboys. So, yeah, man, I have no idea. Like T says, this year's gone so crazy. We were 1-4 2 seconds ago. But since the Heineke deal, look at this. I think the NFC has kind of flattened itself out. Dallas, Philly, and San Fran are all 6-1 since Heineke took over. We're 5-1-1. Would anyone argue those are the 3 best teams in the NFC? I mean, they're right there with Minnesota, and Minnesota went 5-2. So the best teams are playing the best ball right now, including Detroit clipping on people's heels, winning 6 straight, sitting right there, and that could be an issue. So hey, look, between the 4 of these teams we're talking about, 2 are going to make it. Us, the Giants, the Seahawks, and the Lions. 2 are in, 2 are out, no matter how you slice it. And I think if you get 2 wins, especially one versus the Giants, you're in. Now, we don't want to settle for 2 wins. I'm just talking.
Sure.
We're talking playoffs here and talking
I like
scenario.
that. I like that. I totally agree. I think 9 wins will get us in, especially with the tie. I think there's a possibility for more than 2 wins down the stretch.
Agreed.
But the cool thing about it is, when you look at the playoff picture in ESPN or whatever channel you're watching, and you see coverage of it, and it's got the division winner or the leaders of each division, and then the wild cards, which are now 3 and in the hunt. In most years, you would look at that, and when we've been in the hunt or on the edges, it hasn't looked so pretty. But you just kind of made the point I came in thinking, which is that this isn't a team that's backing into the playoffs. This isn't a team that's limping into the playoffs. This isn't a team that's taking advantage of other people sucking at the wrong time, getting into the playoffs. Our team stats are everything that's going on for us in a meaningful period of time, 7+ weeks. Meaningful period of time on defense, on offense, on special teams, on the coach, in the sidelines. We're selling the team. Everything's going well. Everything's looking good. Everything's, kind of painting the picture of, wait a second, these guys might actually know what they're freaking doing. And that's the team that's in the hunt. And that's the team that's the only team that's played and beat the number 1 team in the Philadelphia Eagles. And and we gave Kirk Cousins down to the last second. And we're going to get a shot at the 49ers. So I'm telling you, this is not a happy to be here team. And we would have been in years past, but that's not us right now.
No, winning all these games we have recently has allowed for that. Not to mention, and I'll let you go ahead, T. I was just going to say, not to mention, looking at the schedule here, we might have a more favorable schedule than the other 4, and we're in first place. We're as of right now, we'd be seated higher than anyone else based on our record and our tiebreaker against the Giants. So, you're looking at 3 road games for the Lions just coming up. Seahawks versus San Fran, at KC versus the Jets versus the Rams. I mean, that's tough sledding there.
Yep.
The Giants got to play us on Sunday night and go to Minnesota versus Indy and to Philadelphia. That's tough.
Yep.
And not to mention, Philadelphia doesn't need to be sitting guys in that final week. The more I think about it, they're going to be if they're going to be that 1 seed, which it looks like they're going to be, why sit guys that week when you got to sit the next week as well? All of a sudden, you're going to have guys showing up for a playoff game. They haven't played in 3 weeks. That doesn't seem right to me. I don't know if they need to lay down in the final week. So
weird.
With our deal, this weekend, then going to San Fran, which is going to be a bitch, and then home versus Cleveland, who knows, and then Dallas at home. But 3 of our 4 at home, 3 of the Lions, 4 are away. Seahawks got 3 at home, but San Fran, KC, and the Jets playing pretty good ball. It just looks to me like people are going to get beat up on this way. We're gonna have to win our way into it, but we win this week. It really puts us in the freaking driver's seat.
Yeah.
And that's an awesome feeling that we haven't been in the driver's seat since I can remember.
How about this? There's 0% chance, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, 0% chance that we would play the best team that's in the playoffs in week 1 of the playoffs in the NFC, which is the
No.
Dallas Cowboys. We there's no chance we play them in the first playoff game because they're also going to be a wild card team. That's the team no one wants to play in week 1. We don't get them. We don't have to play them. I mean, again, all this stuff. I understand what it means to take on the 49ers. They're a great team. We'll see if they have Debo or not. But everything seems to be going right for that franchise in a variety of ways. But not having to play Dallas in the first week of the playoffs, I would love to. I would love to see that game. But at the same time, they are the best team playing that week in the NFC, and they're not even going to be playing at home.
Give us the Vikings.
Give us the Vikings. Give us the Vikings.
Look, you said they're not just happy to be there. I agree with that. They are happy to be there because they've earned every bit of it, and they're going to have to earn every bit of it. People are worried about the Lions because they have an offense right now that is just on fire, scoring over 30 points a game, whereas the Commanders are only scoring just over 20 a game, but their defense is what's keeping them in. Their defense is what's scaring the hell out of everybody else, and why they don't want to play us. So it's weird to see. Usually those teams that are coming on strong at the end are the teams with the offenses that are clicking hard to stop. But I haven't seen in a long time a team like this that has a defense that is the main reason why they're playing or winning games, with an offense that is fun as hell to watch, but just doing everything it can to hold on. And they've earned every bit of it, and they should be happy where they are.
Our defense, 4th in yards per game, 8th versus the pass, 9th versus the rush, and 10th in points allowed. This is a top 5 to 10 defense we're talking about.
Yep.
After the start we had to the season, no one was thinking that with 4 weeks to go, we'd be sitting here top 5 to 10.
We all knew we had the pieces.
Yeah, we
right?
thought that last year
and then
too,
again,
though, brother.
Go back to what Ron did earlier this year and got rid of the coaching staff and did some
The
changes.
D-line coach.
Yeah.
Now our best.
And now look at
yes.
how they're playing, and the pieces now are playing together within, I guess, the system that Ron and everybody in Del Rio has envisioned these guys doing. And again, when is Chase going to come back? Is he going to come back this week? It can only get better from there.
How about this? Chase was on the list of things we had to talk about, so we'll just drizzle him in a little bit here. He has to play.
See, he says things that are.
I mean, he has to play. I
Slightly
thought we were going to
uncomfortable.
we got to it. You got us to it naturally, in a little drizzly way. He has to play, right?
He's playing.
He's playing. I mean, he's playing.
Sunday
He's playing.
night
He has to play. He's
at
playing.
home. When he comes out, the place is gonna.
It's going to be crazy.
It's gonna be. He's playing.
He is playing. He's
playing.
playing. He's playing, and I'm not going to accept any other thing in my own head, in my own reality.
It's
at
time.
this point in time. It is time.
Danny LaRusso's going to fight.
He's going to
I got
fight.
it right.
He's going to fight.
He's playing.
So AGH, to answer your question, by the way, what's up, AGH? Ken Harris, all your other folks who are just getting on, appreciate you and your thumbs ups. Give you a thumbs up right on back. I think 9-7-1 goes in over 9-8. Check me on that though. Check my math on that, everybody.
Think?
I think, yeah.
Yes, 9-7-1 over 9-8.
I'm just saying,
Yes,
on the AGH is worried about a 9-8 Lions team. I'm just making
less
sure.
losses and more
Don't
ties.
be. Better winning percentage.
Yes.
Worse.
Yes.
Worse.
Yes.
So the
Yes. 100%.
yeah.
100%.
Don't worry,
Yes.
AGH. Even if they get to 9-8,
That's why
so
this tie sitting here gives us a little bit of a boost. It's like
Mm-hmm.
a point and a half. You know what I mean? We don't tie with the team right behind us with 6 losses.
Great.
Lions get to 700 this week. So what?
you're telling me, Greg,
500.
that less losses is better than more losses. That's
I was worried about you there for a minute. So was Greg.
you know what? I'm the straight man. I'm playing the game.
Someone
he was
throws a
just
tie in there.
relaying
And
I'm
you
just-
go
AGH's
bonkers.
question, and maybe they do things differently in Wales. I don't know. Ties are different
Well,
in soccer, right?
I don't know. Wales is
Percentage-wise,
is an island of
we're
winners.
still going to go with the same.
Nasta to all our friends in Wales and New Jersey as well.
Oh, they do metrically. Or something.
It's yeah. They don't use the English. They certainly don't use the English system. We know that.
It's a thick ass 2-2
Yes.
tie.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So Chase is playing. We're playing a second half of a Giants game that is going on for quite some time already.
Is this an aggregate? Is that what it's
Is this
called?
what cricket
Yes,
people
it is.
feel like?
This is the home leg.
Yeah.
Is this what cricket feels like?
God
Like
no.
days of one game?
First of all, I
I've
mean,
been to a cricket match.
Have you
I
really?
have.
how long did it last?
Wow.
Oh, it was day 3 when I arrived.
I was gonna say you didn't go there for the. I can see you just making a party out of it, putting the tent
Yes.
up and
Well,
just
it was in
hanging
the
out.
Bahamas as well, so it was a
right.
tremendous place to watch a
Game
cricket
over,
match.
of course.
But I was one of like 30 people there, so it was not a big crowd. It was not.
It's great. It sounds
It
like
was
a
like,
softball
it was like
game.
a pickup. It was like a
Played
pickup cricket game.
Day 3. of a
They were
pickup
bowling
game.
though. They was bowling.
If I could tell my wife, Megan, I'm sorry, I'm going to be checked out for the next 3+ days
Cricket match.
playing pickup cricket. Hey, waking up in the morning and she's like getting the kids ready for school, and I'm like, I can't believe this is day 6. Like, who would have known? But we gotta show
A little
up.
overtime action.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
How about
Okay,
some free cricket? Woo!
I'll make it up
It's going to be
later.
day 14 of this one.
We got the field for another day. All right, so on offense, let's make some second half adjustments in this game against the Giants. First adjustment is easy. We're making them come to our place. Second adjustment, I'll ask the question about Daniel Jones. Do we need to do something different, or should we continue to make him out to be Joe Montana every time he plays against us?
Well, he's less Joe Montana than he rushed for 71 yards. I'm not sure.
Most of any team.
Yeah, it's
we
every
go
time he
most.
plays against us, he's slippery as shit. And he's
Yes.
just so elusive. He's always
weird.
running. It's so
A young Carson
strange.
Wentz. Really, the way Carson
Why?
Wentz used to beat us
I
up.
know, but why?
I don't know.
Why? Like Marcus Mariota is a better runner than him. I'm sorry, and he gave us some fits at times.
We
But
don't-
But why? Not like Daniel Jones.
I know, but we don't play the quarterback well. At least in the first half, we don't play the quarterback well because they get us a couple times and then we adjust. But
Well,
I think that's it. That and just keep him in the pocket. Make him force him to beat you with his arm because he can't.
Well, defensively, that's true. They run the ball better than they throw it. Obviously,
can't.
they throw for $100, $185 a game. I think, man.
Yep.
Like, so obviously they're trying to control the ball a little bit, just like us. But last time it didn't help. We had 41 minutes to their 28 and some change, and it was still a tie. So time of possession in game 1 was dominant. 13 minutes more by us. We got to get off the field on third downs. You know what we got to do? We're talking about defense now. We'll get to that. Defensively, I don't think we have to do much different than what
Okay,
we did.
so you
Besides,
would
besides contain this dude's ass,
Yeah.
which is so creepy.
Now, I didn't do it last week, and I'm not going to do it this week. But I'm going to ask you guys: is it too easy to repeat what a play-by-play guy might say on the air, which about Montez Sweat not keeping contained on the outside, or is that something he needs to do better this week against Daniel Jones?
Well, I thought they needed to do it better a couple times against Daniel Jones in that game.
I mean, he's had a great season. So
he had
it's
a
not-
couple, effective runs. What is an
Effective
effective
is
run?
what he's had
You got a
this
first
season,
down.
yes.
He
Yeah.
moved the chains.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't have that. It's no different than Barkley doing it himself. You got to count for him now
Yep.
because he has the ability to do that. So yes, they have to play that better and they have to play it more consistently. The same thing happened with Marcus Mariota. He gave us some fits, as Kevin said, in the first half. There weren't so many of those in the second half because they did something, or at least, focused or hammered down. Hey, don't let him get outside because at least you funnel him back. He's not going to do much damage, but. Jones, at least to his credit, has enough athleticism and speed to be dangerous when he gets outside.
he
It's
does.
not pretty. It doesn't need to be. It's effective.
He's an
as hell.
athlete. He belongs in the league. He's not a great. He's nothing. I don't think he's gonna be. If he plays against us 17 weeks at this level, he'll do just
He'd
fine.
be all pro.
But I think he certainly belongs in the league, and I like. He's likable in the sense that he doesn't kill us. He kind of kills us just a little bit.
The culture club. Do you really want to hurt me?
Do you really want to hurt me? It's so,
he looks
it's
so
so weird.
innocent. He does.
Yes,
he looks
it's
like,
like,
looks like Eli Manning's nerdy friend. Like
It's
He
like
is-
you're going
He
hunting.
is Eli Manning's nerdy.
it's very
Which
true.
I've never
Very
hunted. I
and
know-
vice versa, perhaps.
You've never hunted.
I like them both.
You've never hunted.
No.
I've never hunted.
no.
I can't imagine. So that's not using a hunting analogy.
I don't think you want a gun or a knife in a quadriplegic's hands. It's not probably not a smart thing.
I'm gonna arm the shit out of you if it comes down to it. Just so you know.
Maybe if you mount it on the chair.
Yeah, I'm gonna turret. I'm gonna
Make sure
probably
it's
maybe
stable.
a sniper stand that sits above. I don't know.
It's
We'll
almost
talk.
freaking
We'll
Christmas,
talk.
and we're mounting ourselves up for
talk.
some type of freaking wheelchair onslaught against.
I had a great uncle
someone
that I had a great uncle
outside the
that didn't think,
basement.
It's going to be a great
I had a
Violent
great
Night
uncle
Part
that didn't
2.
think my quadriplegia was going to be a problem. I never took him up on the offer, but he did. He thought it would be fine. And
Wolverine too.
Uncle Gilbert, I don't
Return
think
to
it's a good
Michigan.
idea.
Uncle
It's a
Gilbert.
good idea.
Uncle Gilbert.
I digress.
That's
I've
all right.
never
There's
hunted.
we digress when we hit
What
play
were you,
on this
why
one.
were you talking about hunting? Please. Continue.
Only because there's so many hate. I use the word hate in the sports sense, not like true, humanitarian sense. But I see some, like when we watched what soured me on Carson Wentz, soured me on a lot of guys. When you watch them play, and they're going to do something that's going to beat you, and you hate them because they're going to do it to your team, and that's the way you feel it as a fan.
I think you should hate the defensive coordinator that allows it. And
I will.
Del Rio's
I have
been unhateable since the first month of the season.
No, I'm saying I don't hate
I
Daniel
know,
Jones
I know,
that way.
I know,
I look at Daniel
I know,
Jones and
I
I'm
hear
like,
what you're saying. I'm just saying in the past you should have hated the other. I know
Yeah,
you're right
you're
there.
right.
Daniel Jones seems like he's going to lend you $5 and be like, don't worry about it, man. It's just
Yeah, he runs for like a 15-yard first down. And I look at him
did it
like,
again.
what? Did you mean to do that? Like,
just knock it off, Jones.
come on, Daniel. Seriously.
Rascal. You rascally bastard.
Whippersnapper. All right, everybody. He's not going to do it anymore. Just everyone take it easy.
Let's hope he doesn't.
And then,
He
but,
does look like a whippersnapper.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
He does.
The throwback
But
kinda.
he's gigantic and he's fast and he's strong and he should have had a better career at this point in time. But that Giants franchise is backwards.
Look,
They're probably
I
getting
think
better,
the way
but-
you get him to beat you, which I don't think he can do it, is by keeping him in the pocket because he's just prone to throwing a bad ball. He's prone to throwing a really good ball. He can catch you in a man-on-man, and pick the right, match up and put the ball in the right spot. But I mean, that's wwhy he's a pro. I think your odds are better by forcing him to do that than letting him get out and do anything with his legs, which again extends drives. Sometimes it results in a score, but that's all they got to do. I'm with Kevin. You don't have to do a whole lot different than that.
Well, defensively, but offensively, we
All
got
right,
to
let's
make
go
some
to offense.
adjustments. There's no doubt about it.
Starting where?
Starting with the quarterback on third down. That's what I talked about last week. All right, how about this?
But what was
starting with the fact that we got to run the ball up their ass because they gave up too much
Right.
yards, too much
Because
yards
they were too
after
long.
contact. We got a little bit away from it, but what we didn't do is convert on third. But the run
many
game,
third and
this
longs.
is where you put a crack in the foundation. When you bust their ass and you start breaking off 5 and 7 yard chunks, and this is where you just humiliate a team that hasn't won in 6 weeks, that's on the road, that's fighting for their ass. When we're the better team and we bring the physicality, and we can't give up the 5 sacks we did last time. We got to run the ball and get the play action. But if you can expose them in the run game and start just because it's something that has to be done over the course of the game, they're feeling it. They didn't have a bye last week. We've got to wear their ass
Give me
out.
4 yards of rush.
That's
Give me
fine.
4 yards
That's
of
fine.
rush.
Getting it.
That's fine. But when we didn't against them last time, I'm going to
Correct.
tell you this. When we didn't, I said, and when we threw on longer than 3rd and 4 against them, in any third down, how about forget it? In any third down against them last time, when we asked Taylor Heineke to go and make a play, whether with his legs or with his arm, he was 1 for 11.
Yep.
1 for 11. He's been 2 for his last 25 in 3rd and 5 or more. And 10 for his last 52 in 3rd or 4. It's driving me bonkers. I can't. I love the guy, and I love how he's playing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything about it, but we are at a disadvantage in 3rd and long. How about this? We have yet to get anything over 3rd and 12 all season. Anything over 12, 3rd and 12, 0 times.
All season?
All with Taylor Heineke as the quarterback.
I thought we got a
He
3rd and
struggles.
19 once.
He struggles. Nope. All season. I told you this last week as well. We got a couple 3rd and 10s and a 3rd and 10 and a 3rd and 11. That's the highest we've gotten all season.
Okay.
It's brutality to me how bad that is. Now there's ways to improve that and there's ways to get it done. First of all, don't be in a bad situation. But a lot of these were decent. He wasn't good against the Giants until that 4th and down play, and then he made some plays at the end of the game that got us back into it. He hasn't had a bad game like that. I'm saying this. We run the ball effectively like we did last time. We hold them to less than 100-some yards and 300 yards of offense, but we run the ball like we know how against a defense that needs the ball ran
Well, we've
against.
done it against people.
And what we're going to do to them. And Heineke's just got to make some plays on 3rd down. That's it. That's all he's got to do. He can't just make one out of 11 times to get a conversion. That's unacceptable. So
It's also
Scott Turner,
you
though,
do better.
it's got to be Scott. It's got to be on Scott Turner too, to come up with better opportunities for him to succeed in 3rd and 5 or long. And how do you do that? Maybe you spread it out and you actually run the ball in a 3rd and 7. To tell the defense, oh crap, they're willing to try to run the ball and do some things differently that we have to account for now. And then you try to find those one-on-one matches, force the defense into bad matchups. But it's on Scott to do that, I think, in some respects, because we know that Taylor Heineke is limited.
But he held
in
the ball a
certain
couple
respects.
times on third down.
Well, that's what happened. That's what I was going to say, Ken. That's what I was going to say to T.
Then get it
The
took-
first
get-
the first
get it
sack was
coached
a
up.
fumble, and that led to a touchdown deep in our where we were that deep in our area.
Yeah,
that was deep in our area.
Our area.
Anyways, 2 series later, he gets sacked, and it turns from like a 44-yard field goal to a 52-yard field goal, and we push it right by a yard. And there's 10 points right there in a 2020 game. When one team averages 20 and a half points per game, the other averages 19.5.
Yeah.
We go 20-20 on it because, we tied the turnover game. We dominated the possession game, but we tied the turnover game. They were 4 of 13 on third down. We were 3 of 14 on third down. It's a pretty important down that that's where we can grow in leaps and bounds on Sunday night. That's where we can make a difference and run the ball at home against these dudes effectively. That would be something. That would be. I think if we do that the right way, we could win the game by double digits. I do feel that way. This team is ready. This Giants team is ready. They're up against it, man. Haven't won in 6 freaking weeks. They came out of the gates flying, and now they're starting to look at each other. They're getting banged up a little bit.
I'd be surprised if we win any game going forward by double digits.
All right, there's a little something. But so Kevin,
This is the one.
You
I
just put
think.
your finger right on it because you remember
would
when
be the
I
one.
called the Giants the anti-Zorn team. We talked about it right out of we talked about it in like week 7 or 8 when we started mediocrely. Giants came out on tilt and it immediately started spinning back. And we knew. I feel like this isn't just a division rival saying, oh yeah, they're garbage. They're not garbage, but they were never one of the top 5 or 6 teams in the
In fact, they're
in the
tough.
leagues. Yeah,
They're tough. That's what got them to tie against us. They're scrappy. They're tough. Saquon not injured, but he's got to have some lingering neck issues.
he's gonna be
They're
beat
tough.
up.
What's the
But-
coach named Dave?
and it's a division
I think He's
game,
done
so-
a great job.
Yes.
I think it's the head coach.
With what he's got,
what
shit.
the head coach has done, has done leaps and bounds for this.
But like Parcells said, you are what your record says you are. And we have the same exact record as we sit here and point the finger at them.
I know.
We have the same freaking record. But the last 6 weeks, we don't. They get out of the gates on fire in the last 6 weeks. We've got 5 wins. They haven't won. So, aside from a tie
5 and
and a
1.
bye, we're... So,
I think the difference is, and we haven't really touched on this, but it just hit me. I remember at this point last year, we had no identity as a team. I think
a lot of times at this
without
point
a
over
doubt,
the
we've
years.
got an identity this year. We've certainly got one defensively, and I think they're establishing one offensively. It's a little bit of a throwback, but that's identity. I think that's the biggest thing that separates us from the same record Giants.
Well,
I
2
don't
years
think they
ago,
have
we
the
were playing
identity.
defensive ball down the stretch with Chase's rookie year, and he became like one of the greatest, rookie campaigns on defense for us. We beat the 49ers. We beat teams. We got to host a playoff game against the Buccaneers. What was that? So we played the Buccaneers, but the last year our defense was supposed to continue to be our identity, and they weren't. I would argue right now our defense is playing some pretty badass ball. I mean,
Hell yeah.
they're playing solid, and
And these guys just got their ass whipped on national
That was
television by freaking
egregious.
26. They just got
Egregious.
worked. They can't be feeling all that great about the
No.
lack of W's in the last month over there.
And when you don't have an identity, when you're still trying to figure things out, it's harder to get pissed off and come out, ablaze the next week and really change a lot of things. Maybe they're in a kind of a free fall. They're, as we said, they're not as good as they were at the beginning of the year, and maybe that's starting to really get exposed at this point in the season for them.
And banged up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, it's what happens. You can't sustain that all year long. They were winning games by touchdown. Maybe they were cheering in the locker room.
Yeah.
But I think it's time for us to take control of the situation, take control of our playoff destiny and our season starting right now, and go on a roll here and go in and see what the hell San Fran's got. Not getting ahead of these guys, but coming off a bye, this is the best we've felt around here in a while.
this is a great litmus test. We always have litmus tests, right? All year, there's always a litmus test for something. But this is the. I think this is a real test for where we are organizationally. We have shown, not just progress, but we've been dominating, for the last couple months on the football field. Ron Rivera seems to really have his shit together on the sidelines in a way that we were a little bit worried about earlier this season. we got a bye, an opportunity to get ready for a team that we just played. Then they had to play again. Now we get them again, and this should be a real. We should get a this should give us a real window in to a variety of measurements for how good we are right now. You know, how good we really are. A really good team, not like a dominating team, but a really good team comes out of that game against the Giants, takes 2 weeks off after showing what we've showed, and lays one on the New York Giants. Like that's what I think. That's what if you give a halfway decent coaching staff. An offensive line time to rest, a defensive line time to rest, skill players time to get an ankle thing healed up enough to play. This is the game. This is the game where you have it's the longest halftime ever. You can script out 20 plays.
Seriously.
You know exactly what you want to do against this exact team in a tight window. This should be if it is the double-digit win that we're talking about, if it is the ass whooping that we're capable of. Then I think we come back next Tuesday, and now we are talking about. Now wait a second, this ain't a one and done playoff type team. This is a team that is dangerous in the postseason, and this is why. We just proved why we're a good organization. Coaches put something together in 2 weeks to dominate a team. Now we got to go out and do it, but that's what lays right in front of us.
I mean, the way you say it like that, you almost have to say not mathematically, but just in terms of logic, this is a must-win game. It's a must-win game because you have 2 weeks to prepare for it. You just came off of a game in overtime, playing against them. So it's not like you have any excuses for not knowing what they're capable of doing and what you can do. I mean, you've had 2 weeks to just do this on this team. This is a must-win game in that respect.
At home, prime time. It's and by the way, they got to be picking at that schedule and going, all right, we need this because next week we got to go to Minnesota, and then back home for Indianapolis. Hopefully you're not 7-7-1, trying to scrape by and see what you got to do versus Indy before Philly comes to town. So they're up against it too, and they know it. But we're going to be healthier. We're going to be fresher. Right?
Where's the schedules again?
Way more fresh.
So you said it already that of course they got to play Philadelphia in Week 18, which may or may not.
I know but I'm telling you, but why would you want to sit your guys to sit them again the next week, to sit them again the next, especially if you're going to have one of the greatest records ever, especially if the NFC East, which is 29-7 versus the NFL.
Yep.
That's remarkable. Just the NFC East versus the NFL is 29-7. There's 8 games left. It's going to be very interesting to see what that final record is. It's going to set records. It's going to be ridiculous. So at the end of the year, I guess it's not going to matter in the final week. But some of these games are going to matter. Like, I don't know if San Fran and the Seahawks going up against each other doesn't matter. But do we care about the Giants, Minnesota?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I mean, but if we beat them, if we beat the Giants,
then we can. If we beat the Giants, then we can root for the Giants to beat the Vikings.
Well,
and knock them down.
I don't want to get our playoff rating too much.
Okay.
But I would like to see Kirk O'Bangs up in in the salt.
Hell yes.
In the lakes, the salty lakes of Minnetonka.
And listen, I'm not predicting a Dallas crumbling in the regular season. I am predicting a wilting of that flower in the playoffs at the hands of somebody else. But the truth of the matter is, we're in shouting distance of second place in our own division. That's crazy, right? I'm willing to say that right now, the way it shapes up, Dallas is the best playoff team that's not the Eagles in week 1 of the playoffs. Just because the way that Niners are hurt at quarterback and at wide receiver.
I would say Dallas, then the Niners.
They're delicate
Dallas and the
too,
Niners,
though, man. They're delicate. I mean, Dak's delicate.
Yes,
Ezekiel's
something happens
delicate,
to them. Yeah.
We
don't. But the fact of the matter is that they're second in the division. Like, we're all talking about, getting into that wild card spot, and the beauty of the setup is Philadelphia is not part of the conversation anymore.
No.
And Dallas is essentially locked in.
No, I haven't thought about them.
But that's
the
like
beauty
second
of it
place.
is
We're
all
like
we have to do
second
is
place.
all we have to do is worry about us.
Of course.
That's all.
And if we do that, we could end up in second place in this
right
division.
now, they have destiny in their hands. They can take care of it on themselves. They don't have to worry about anybody doing anything else or having to lose or having to win or whatever.
Wouldn't it be interesting if that last game of the season, Washington at home against Dallas, isn't meaningless? Now, and I say both teams
to fly to Tampa. to go play the Buccaneers. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think
Or
there's
possibly Carolina.
or Seattle, or I mean, or or whoever.
No,
has
that
to,
number 4 seed's coming out of
Someone
the
has
worst-
to win that
it's-
division.
It's coming out of the South.
someone has to win it.
And
You're
it's-
right.
they're making a mess all over themselves right now. But
Yes.
someone gets it.
Someone's hosting that game.
Someone gets it.
They haven't made the invitations yet.
We were that team for the
know.
NFC East 2 years ago.
I know, but we were doing it a different way. We weren't messing ourselves. We had climbed out of
It
the
was
mess.
pretty ugly.
It was, but it's,
Yeah, but
it's a
it was
different
a
Yeah,
story.
but we didn't have the greatest
We got
quarterback
in
of
on
all
a losing
time.
record.
We didn't
Come
have
on.
Tom Brady at quarterback. We had
Yep.
we had less than Brady at quarterback.
True.
But just looking ahead to that Week 18 game against the Dallas Cowboys, let's wait and see what happens. But I think it'll be interesting if both teams are in the playoffs, but it's a matter of where you play in that first week and what happens in that scenario. Because, in years past, conventional wisdom would be you made the playoffs. Don't put your $40 million a year quarterback on the field. Don't put your whatever on our side. And all of a sudden you got Ron Rivera and Mike McCarthy looking across the field at each other and be like, sure like to play Tampa Bay next week. And make you play the Niners or whoever, and it's like, all right, and then you kind of get
Yeah,
this.
but then it's to be careful what you wish for.
I know,
All of a sudden,
I know.
the goat comes out and throws 5 first half on, and you're like, oh, San Fran's looking pretty nice back there.
I know, So and that's
Man, Brady's having a bad year.
he sure is.
Well,
wants-
he's
he
having a
wants
great
2020.
statistical
He
year.
wants
but-
2023 over with.
He's doesn't have much help out there. It's the historically worst rushing attack since they've kept track.
I'm not
I
just
believe.
talking about football.
Here's a rumor.
Oh, he'll be all right, sir.
Here's a Tom Brady rumor for you, for your edification. That means nothing, and you can take it to anywhere but the bank. A lot of scuttlebutt that Tom Brady might end up back in New England in next season.
Well, once Mac Jones
For a
keeps
hurrah
yelling,
tour?
if Mac Jones keeps yelling at everyone on the sidelines
Yes.
and everyone on the field, I'm like, dude, how are you yelling like this? Like, it took Brady like a decade to start doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he did when he became the guy, of course, but like you're not the guy, bro. Like, take it easy. He was yelling at Patricia is about to cold cock this dude. I'm telling you.
I love it. He threw like 12 screen passes, I think, in the first half.
Throw the effing ball. The run game sucks.
Yes.
I was like, dude.
I don't think he
you can't
threw a
say that.
ball more than 2 yards past the line of scrimmage for 90-something% of the game, which is amazing. and at least he has no wife. I
Jack Martin
understand.
said
You don't mean
about
that.
his 2023, and you said he's having a tough one. He said, "Well, at least he has no wife." So some people see it from a
Yeah.
different angle.
Well, that stuff gets messy, especially when kids are involved. It's just this year isn't going the way he wanted it to. Come on,
I think
seriously.
they live in a different place. I think everyone just jetsons over to each other in a spaceship, and everything will be fine.
Love the Jetsons. Were you guys Jetsons guys?
Loved your
course.
Jetsons. Come on.
I do too, but I don't think it was in my wheelhouse. Like, I watched it when it was on. I didn't turn the channel if it was on, but I don't remember it being like, I gotta watch the Jetsons whenever knowing
yeah.
what it was.
Jane was a fox.
She was. I was more Flintstones over Jetsons, but they were essentially the
Me
same
too.
show.
Of course.
All right, that's we're on the same page. Betty and yeah, I know Betty. It's all about Betty. I was like, Barney, you son of a
When
bitch.
Pebbles got older, she was so cute.
Like, why are you doing this? You're just doing it. You're like doing a movie where Pebbles is just a dime. Like, what
No,
is that
she, was
all
a
about?
she was dating Bam Bam in high school.
yeah.
I know.
Come on, man. I'm not saying anything tough.
All right.
All right, fine. How about this? Betty and Wilma were
They were
foxes.
unbelievable.
Yeah, of course they were.
They had
Betty
it
over
going on.
Wilma.
All right. Well, that was a little. That was true digression. T.
Well, it's a little.
I
it's a
thought
little
it would be-
taste of something we're going to do later.
Fun tonight. Well, we're 40 minutes.
Are we doing
in.
it now? All right,
Let's
let's do it now.
Is there before? Maybe let's take a second to wrap
We
up.
done
some
talking
finer
about the
points.
left-handers? Just saying, man.
Are
Just
we?
trying to throw it in
Is that
there.
are they going to sing that before the game on Sunday?
I think they're going to do it in the whatchamacallit, in the the place where they did the unveiling of the Sean Taylor.
Mannequin.
This is
Statue
going to be
King.
adopted.
The hat
to
rack.
real-
The Sean Taylor
This
hat
isn't going to
rack.
become like an official thing, is it?
It's already official, dude.
Oh God.
I think that's this year.
I like it now, but
yeah.
it's not like I've listened to it. I just like the idea of it.
the
I
new
still
owner's
can't
gonna
say.
make some
I said
moves.
it once during the show, and it was hard to say. I still can't just say it.
Pebbles versus Betty. That is a Christmas special, Ken. I
Getting out of control over
I'm
here.
not. You know what? I'm still in the I hate my parents situation with regard to Dan Snyder. He's on his way out. By the way, want some more rumors? I got more rumors for you. Here's a bunch of rumors. Here's another rumor that I believe is easily confirmed. The $50 million most expensive house ever purchased in the region in Virginia by one Daniel Snyder
On the
was
market?
not just on the market was full of moving vans in the last 7 to 10 days.
Get him out of here.
I believe that house has been moved, or I believe he's moving. I believe.
You just put the house on the yacht and just head on down
Yeah.
the Potomac.
Dude, with the money he's going to make from this team, he can hold a $50 million house forever. It doesn't even matter to him. $50 million house. It could be the most expensive. It is the most expensive house
It
ever
is.
sold
It
around
is.
here, and he doesn't need to sell
And
it.
around here's got some dough. So
Yeah, and around here's got some dough. So
You make it a venue house. You make a
Sure.
whole bunch of money off of that.
but the moving vans were spotted in mass on property. That is that's the down low on that one, which is awesome. I think there's conflicting reports. I know I said that the deal was done. I still believe that's true.
Why would he live here?
Exactly.
Why?
He wouldn't. He shouldn't. He wouldn't want to. He shouldn't want his family to live
Can't
here.
go anywhere.
when he knows it's about to come out, the moving vans were here. It's about to cometh.
Dude, the Mary Jo
And
White
hell is
report
coming with it.
is not going to be easy, and I've said it before. 6 months ago, this thing's frying Roger Goodell too. I believe, I do. I think
may be
they're-
right.
I think they're coming after this league for allowing this to even get this far with Dan Snyder.
Roger Goodell's job is to protect the asses of the owners.
Yes.
Whose job is it to protect the ass of Roger Goodell?
Oh no, his $150 million per year is a hell of a barrier.
That's the protection. And also he's done it for so long. And when they all get together, they're like, all right, he's got stuff on you, and you. How about we give him Goodell?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, it sounds good to me. Me too.
And they already are split on Goodell. There's
Exactly.
there's a huge part of the league
Roger.
that wants him gone, and there's a huge part of the league that says he's great for the league. And
Roger, come on in and have a seat.
yeah, and you know what? He's fine. He's not going to be painted with the same brush as Dan Snyder for what Dan Snyder did. He's going to be a fall guy for a America's game. Situation where how
the
in the
perfect
world
fall
did you
guy. He's
let
earned
this
it.
happen? Yeah, exactly. He has earned it.
Financially.
He's got the sweater for it. He's gonna hug.
Who's going to
You're not
hug the
feeling bad.
draftees?
He's gonna hug.
Who's
You're
gonna
not
hug?
feeling bad for him. I'm not feeling
Shit.
bad for him.
Shit. He's going to be sitting there. He'll be feeling bad for himself.
I guess.
Because that's what happens when you make
I
that much
guess.
money. But
And then
And you know
on
what?
your own boat.
I think they'll figure out a way for him to go out somewhat gracefully. I don't think it's a sad situation, but
is it?
it's a sad situation in the sense that Dan Snyder is so bad that the league has to be
he's
like,
treated hard. Yes.
someone's got to go.
It's
So
sad how horribly he's treated so many people.
yes, and that it's going to poison it's so much that the league is going to have to be like, sorry, Roger, this thing's
Look,
got
all the
we have
Daniel
to do it."
Snyder stuff aside,
Raj.
you can make an argument. Maybe it's time to move on from him anyway. So
for Goodell.
yeah,
I mean, they just renegotiated his contract a
You
year
just
ago.
got a raise for what?
I mean, it's
I think
like
it's 60 something.
it's
It was 40 before that.
yes, whatever
40
guy
per. 40 million per.
they got the guy. The league hired the guy. They were like, "How much do we pay Roger Goodell?" And they got the guy who has been working for the Redskins for years, whose job it is to decide how much to sell Budweiser for. And every year he shows up and he's like, $1 more $1 more $1. We're going to sell this Budweiser for $1 more $1. And he did it for like 20
A
years.
warm plastic encased Budweiser.
And they're like, "You're a genius! You did it again! You did it again!" Like, sir, we're selling beers for $18 now, and he's like, "That is just genius. $1 more $1." So he came up with the salary for Roger Goodell, and it works. They love it. They're paying him money that they literally won't miss. They could lose in their couch cushions. That's what this money is to them. But I think that. Mary Jo White stuff is coming out. I think you're right. The stuff that's coming down. I mean, we said it last week. His wife got booed at a breast cancer awareness situation. It's like this is you don't come back from this. He's ruined it for everybody in his family.
But to be fair, how many shit sandwiches can we eat? You can't just keep shoving, and I get it. She's done, but to be fair, stop throwing it in front of us at this time.
Yes.
We understand when the time and place is, and it's not right this very second, so you guys can hide behind it. you pieces of trash.
Yes.
I'm like, people were getting mad at the PF. I'm like, no, it's not. Just because the Snyders chose the time. No, it's not. They're not in charge of this. They cannot be in charge of how to contribute to cancer. I can't. For God's sake, man. When they are down the Potomac and the smoke is in the air, we will celebrate until
Yes.
that moment. But until that moment, I'm going to celebrate my ass off when that happens. But he's still here. It still feels
Still
gross.
here, I know, and that's why
Feels better though.
I asked you guys the question. Ken Harris said it on the board, and I was thinking it earlier. Do Washington fans outnumber New York fans on Sunday night?
100%.
I love the fact the players are calling for it.
They deserve it.
It's not begging. It's not. It's saying, hey, you know, it's time to.
It's time to come back.
Take our place back.
They're asking for us to come back.
Yes.
The last game I went to
It's
where
not
I
done, and
chose to go to it, but that I wasn't invited as a guest, which was this season at the Atlanta Falcons game. The last time I went was a Giants game with this young man here and some other younger men. We don't talk about it a lot. Our sons or your son and Jim Miller, and you know, freaking Mark Sanchez that day. Those days.
Sorry, son.
I know. I'm sorry to
But
everybody.
we waited outside in the first quarter, so we didn't have to say we saw the whole thing.
Yes.
It wasn't our first real.
Did you see the butt fumble?
I can't wait for the new
it wasn't.
stadium. I can't wait for the new stadium. You know, having gone to the Falcons game, it was just a reminder of how bad that stadium is. I love watching our team win, and you know, football is football. You know, inside the lines and between the whistles, the game's the game. It was awesome. Those guys are gigantic. It's 32 teams of amazing athletes. Every week you're gonna get guys beating each other up. But that stadium sucks out loud.
Yeah.
And the sooner we can move
So
on from
depressing.
that, it's so depressing. I do think there'll be a window of time when he's not the owner and we're still stuck there. You know, like 2 or 3,
Well,
maybe
'cause
4
there's
years.
No structure built, of course.
What's that? I think we're there till 26, maybe something like that. I don't know. Either way,
You have to have something built to go play in before.
I think we need a freaking priest to go in there and exorcise some demons. I mean, it needs, and then before we knock it down or get the hell out of there. I mean, when he's gone, and we need something to happen where people like me, people like you guys, people like me who went every single week for 20 years, has to feel like, you know, they want to go back to something. Like wanting to go back to FedEx is not a natural human instinct. That place is not something you want to go back to.
I'd rather go run the Exorcist steps right now.
Yes. So Ken Harris, I think there's 3 people here in agreement, hopefully with you, that there will be more Washington fans than New York fans on Sunday night. I believe that's true. I also think Giants fans know the score more, not so to speak. You know that their team's on the outs and our team's not. I don't know. You want to travel down? I don't know. Do they want to ruin their holidays? Did the New York fans want to ruin their holidays by going and watching their team get slammed in prime time?
I don't think they're going to travel all that well for this Sunday night game. There's not many hotel rooms in Landover at 2 a.m.
No, there's
and
not.
that's a tough ride to log back up 95. I think that if it was during the day, they had a way better chance of getting more local Giant fan.
Yeah.
Traveling Giants fans in the mix. And now it just becomes a local game.
Do they have enough belief in this team to take that? I don't think they do.
I mean, there's plenty of New York fans that live in this area because
Sure.
that's going to be a
That's the problem. Period.
Yep.
I mean, there's plenty of people who are willing to take a ticket.
Yep.
When someone's not willing to go, but that's neither here nor there. I
Wait,
think what
Matt,
I think,
Aaron,
I think what the
elaborate
players are
on that.
calling
What do you
for
mean?
more is don't give those tickets away. Use them or give them to a Redskin fan. Give it, pack it in with their own guys. I think that's what they're saying.
The prices are way higher than they've been in previous
The
weeks and the
market
weeks
is
after.
there.
So there's a big market for this week. But once again, we don't know who's buying those tickets. But
Sure, and that's the under the hood change. By the way, Matt Aaron, elaborate. Tom Marangolo, Merry Christmas to you, sir. Appreciate having you on this evening. other teams' fans don't see Commanders as a top 10 team. That's fine. I think that they
I see us as a 13 to 17 team.
yeah. I think that, and that's what Matt's saying. I think that's completely
I don't see
reasonable.
the Giants as one of those. I think
I-
they're in the-
exactly.
in the
That's what
15
we're talking
in the
about.
15 to 20 range.
And I don't think Giants fans
right.
are they're only maybe the hardcores, but I think and I don't think the average NFL fan says that the Giants are a
Right.
top 10 team. But the under the hood issue that we were talking about before is this team, as evidenced, as reported with evidence by the Washington Post and ESPN and things we already knew. This team has gone to bed with ticket brokers, and they've done so by by blocks of 5,000 and 10,000 at a time for the better part of 20 years, or in Dan Snyder's time as owner. That is a model that can change real easily with a new owner by not building a 95,000 seat stadium. Build a 55,000 seat stadium. Make it 65,000 with luxury, whatever. But you can sell our team to our people at 65,000 a clip, and not have to worry about selling another 25,000 a week for the next 20 years.
If you remake RFK on that area, on that site, and make the stand shake, you can do whatever you want to us. We'll
Yep.
pay whatever. We've already done that for a garbage dump to go to.
Yeah.
You want to do that and have the stands wiggle when we jump on them? Blah, blah. $100 for parking, I got it. You guys drive.
Yeah.
You're talking simple supply and demand. Just build a stadium that's going to always constantly and build a team
That people want to
that's
be
gonna
in.
Be able to create a supply and demand problem. You want more people to want to come than what you can hold.
But it's not just the supply and demand; it's where you go to get tickets. In the old days, you waited in line, and when you got your tickets, you had them. But my point is, there's a fan base here that can
Isn't the
support.
reason they got in bed with them is because they had 95,000 freaking
Yeah,
tickets to
that's the
sell,
reason
and they
why.
couldn't
What I'm
do it?
saying is, what we had was a whole stadium full of twosies and foursies, and sixties, families, buddies, people who went to games 4 years together, and they had their 2 seats, their 4 seats, their 6 seats, and they knew everybody in their section because everyone went to the games. That's how it was for me for the first 10 years. I know how it was for the next 10 years. The difference is, once they flipped the model and started selling 5,000 and 10,000 seat blocks to ticket brokers, game over. There's no, then now you're not just paying the Commanders an exorbitant fee. Now you're going to a ticket broker that's falsely inflating the value of a shitty product at a terrible place to watch football, and you kill it. And we've seen it killed. It's dead. So
It's killed.
It's killed. You
Okay.
build a new stadium, you do it right, and you get rid of the ticket brokers, and you go back to asking, suckers like me, suckers like us, suckers like people that we know who will say, all right, I'll sign up for 5 years for 2 tickets, for what I'm that's not run by this guy. I would do that, maybe, so. We can get away from that. We can absolutely get away from that. We should and we will.
I think we should. I think we should
That's
stop
how we
talking
get-
about ticket brokers
that's how we
right
get-
this very moment.
That's how we get to the Ken Harris. More of our fans than theirs, not just against New York, but against any team. That's how it was every week at RFK. There would be one guy in your section, maybe wearing the jersey of another team, maybe, and he heard about it the entire afternoon. We will get back to that. I know that we will. I'd love to see this Sunday be the start. The interesting thing is we do get another division opponent this season at home. It is the last week of the season, and that could be, like we talked about before, a meaningful game. That'll be another opportunity for FedEx to be a meaningful place of business for the Washington Commanders and in this fan base, because that's, again, you're talking about now you're deep into the holiday season, against the Dallas Cowboys with something on the line.
I don't want to talk about that game and the ticket possibilities. It's not good. It's not good.
Matt Aaron, apologize if I've talked it. Stacking first-round picks. All right, that's a fair question, and you made a good point earlier in the show, so let's talk about it. Everyone gets a shot at this one. With teams like the Eagles and others stacking first-round picks, do you think Commanders will need to trade a sweat or pain to try to catch another stud on a cheap contract, in the draft, right? So I'll let you guys start that off.
I give it to T.
T?
I have no idea. I mean, do they?
They don't call him the best color man in the business for nothing, folks.
Well, but I'm not a draft expert. Like,
I haven't thought about it, so that's why I
well,
said you can have it. I'm
that's
focused
just
on.
it. I mean-
I'm focused on this right here,
Sure.
right now.
it seems
this
like
season.
we have a lot of youth
there's a
already
lot.
for a long
We have-
time.
And the guys we brought in,
So
guys we drafted.
So at some point, you can't just keep stacking or keep. I don't want to get rid of Sweat. I was okay with getting rid of Ron, and still am okay with it from a business standpoint. But it looks like we have an opportunity to probably keep him.
Letting Wentz walk allows
Gone.
us to
Get
put some
outta
money
here.
toward. Would it be fair? Tell me straight up if you don't want to talk about this tonight. Would it, if you had to choose between Payne and Sweat?
Oh my God, what are we doing? This is a fun show.
I'm
No.
just saying from on a front office standpoint.
Let
If
Payne
you don't
go.
want to talk about it, we
I
don't have to.
have
don't wanna-
no
I don't wanna
comment
let you
on
down.
But
Payne or Sweat.
that's not the story. I think
know.
the question is
For Matt, he made some
the
good points on
question
the board
is,
earlier.
do we have to keep up with the Joneses who are stacking up these first round draft picks? But aren't they going to be in the same position? A couple of years down the line
We'll
after they
see.
make those picks, that they're going to be in the same position of trying to keep all those things.
Sure.
I mean, so it's all relative. I don't think you have to freak out just because everybody else has some shiny keys that you have to go get shiny keys yourself. I
No,
think-
but
No, they want
You
those
have to
first round
stick to
picks
your
to turn into
plan.
Sweats and Pains. We already have
Yeah,
first round picks that have turned into those
kind of what
guys.
I'm saying
So,
is we, as far as on the defensive side of it, I think we're fine. I don't think you need to panic. And
well, it also
start-
brings in what do we do with Chase Young, and then what do we do with? Well, we could do this game for freaking. 10
Well, we just
days.
did it with Jonathan
Yeah, I
Allen. We
mean,
just did it with Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
We are showing a propensity to keep our own guys. The salary cap is designed for teams to have the money to sign their guys. I don't think Deron Payne is absolutely no longer going to be on our team. I don't think Montez Sweat is
I don't think he
absolutely
should.
going to be no longer be on our team. I think you let $28 million hit the road this offseason in Carson Wentz, and you have a lot of flexibility to do some things with your own guys. So I don't think it's wave bye-bye
Still
to,
gotta
the,
find
to
a
these two
quarterback.
guys. It's true. But and I think there's a couple of different ways to do that on the cheap for at least one more year. I know.
On the cheap, and all right, let's not have that
But
conversation.
Taylor Heineke, I guess, is on the cheap.
Yeah,
So
I love him.
But I think we're gonna have an opportunity in the next 2 months to watch the carousel spin, the NFL quarterback carousel. Random weird things are gonna happen, and I think someone's gonna want to come here.
It's just not something you need to worry about now. I think right now you just worry
No.
about the product on the field, getting the job
Yeah, I haven't
done
thought of
against the
anything like
Giants,
that
and-
in my top 1,000 Commanders thoughts.
No, we got plenty of
I
time
know
for
this,
that.
but you guys know I'm weird, and I love to think about stuff like that. And plus, we're
Good
57,
question.
57
I'm not
minutes
knocking
in.
the question.
I
I'm
love,
just saying maybe now is not the time to be talking about it.
That's
I
all.
love the top-down stuff. I mean, it is. Matt, we appreciate you, man.
Always.
And thanks for hanging out at Hog Haven. But
Absolutely.
thanks
It's
for
cool.
coming
No,
here
it's
on
awesome.
Tuesday nights.
I'm just focusing on the happiness because we haven't had, and as you well know, Matt, that many Tuesdays to be so happy about something.
This
to
is
look
like one of
forward
our best
to.
Victory Tuesdays.
It is. We're
Yep.
looking forward. We didn't even play win.
didn't play.
We tied one the week before, and we
Yep.
won 5 in a row the week before that. Like we're on a roll here.
But-
We haven't lost in an eternity, and
And
we've got
I-
a huge game coming to town.
I thank you guys
hilarious.
because that kind of talk makes me happy.
There you go.
But it's not relevant to beating the Giants' ass on Sunday. We're 58 minutes in, and so I want to transition us. And we got a lot of people watching who haven't
Get in the holiday cheer here.
haven't gotten in the holiday thumbs up cheer, but we will get there. And how about this? The Pride of DeMatha. We're getting the Pride of DeMatha from John Toohey. Of course he will. And he's going to cause a fumble. You're on the hook for that call. We'll talk to you next Tuesday night. We got a couple seasons appropriate segments here on a going forward basis. Our holiday season goes all the way into mid-January, especially when our team's playing well. Tonight, we're going to get back to something that made this show fun before we came into the regular season tonight. And that is a draft. We're going to do a draft to close things out. Tonight's draft is brought to you by, I want to say Callaway. They were our sponsor a couple weeks ago. They're probably our best sponsor for the last couple weeks. They're most recognizable. Clearly, we should be sponsored by a golf
as your
apparel
Jen
company.
accounts, I don't think you should be throwing sponsors out that we haven't talked to.
Willynilly.net.
Brought to you by Callaway.
Our other sponsor, willynilly.net. Thanks for being there.
Well, tonight's sponsor is Whoop.com. I don't even know what Whoop is. I don't even want to.
Don't say there it is.
Oh,
Just,
there
I'm
it
making
is,
it
right
up.
there.
I knew it. I stopped it.
I don't even know what that is, but that's our sponsor, one of our sponsors tonight. But Callaway is certainly sponsoring tonight's draft. Tonight's draft is going to be a draft of Christmas movie characters. We're not being super, we're not going to go songs. We're not going to go movies or shows. That's too easy and it's beneath us.
No, it's not beneath us.
It's beneath us.
It's not beneath
It's a little
us.
beneath us.
No.
We're gonna talk about our favorite characters in these Christmas movies. I would like for someone on the board to represent the board. Ken Harris, if you're on the board and you feel comfortable that you can draft a Christmas movie character along with us, I would like for you to represent the board tonight. I would also like to point out that Ken Harris, class of 83 from Bishop McNamara, and Tom Marangolo, class of 71 from Bishop McNamara, are having quite a conversation about RFK.
Wow.
And the heyday that both of those men know probably very well from the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Wow.
So I appreciate the back and forth there. 11-1 all-time playoff record RFK. That is correct. And as my dad will be my dad was at the seat cushion game. Enough said. So the banter on the board about RFK is in our hearts.
You just need a McNamara guy from the 2000s and from the 2010s, and then you guys would have all the relevant decades covered.
Nothing is beneath Ken. Thank you, AGH. I appreciate you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. The muff washers, obviously, the Eastern Motors muff washers.
If you say muff, I'm going to chuckle. It's just going to happen. Can't help it. Can't hide from it.
All right, who's going first? All right, Ken went first. Ralphie from The Christmas Story is off the board. First round.
Have you seen the new one?
We're going to go
Has
this
it
way.
come out
By the
yet?
way, Kevin, T's second, you're third, and I'm fourth, and then we'll snake it back. So, Ken, you're going to be eighth. I have not seen the new one. I almost watched it a couple nights ago, and I fell asleep before. I mean, I'm going to watch it. I just don't know when it's going to happen.
Of course.
Have you watched it?
No.
It's
What's
one.
streaming on?
Happening.
Did you watch the new Christmas Story movie?
I didn't know it was existing.
Yeah.
Ralphie is all grown up.
It's
and
he's
he's
all
like
grown
his
up.
family's Christmas.
Goes back to the old house apparently, or something.
It's
like that.
gonna work. It'll happen eventually.
Of course, Ralphie's a great character, but
Yes.
the movie itself, I saw it in the theaters with my grandmother. I saw it when I pass out every time it comes
Wow,
on.
you might be
Of
the only
course.
one that
It's
saw it
in the
movie
background
theater.
is
Did you see it
dark.
in the movie theater?
Everything's
Yes.
dark, and I'm always like,
Yeah.
Did you see it in the movie theater?
Christmas Story?
Yeah.
No. What year did it come out? It was
He
probably
says
like
he
5.
saw it in the movie theater.
83, I think. 84.
Okay.
Wow.
He's older than me.
My
but
grandmother used to take us to the movies all the time.
Kevin's older than me.
Well, no, I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying I don't think I saw it in the movie theater. And
Loman's
actually, a lot of
Plaza
movies-
had a
Oh, that
movie
was great
theater, by
place,
the
too.
way. Yeah.
It was a great place.
That's where I saw it.
All right, my turn.
Yep.
I'm up. Well, look, I wouldn't be true to myself if I didn't stick to a character from my favorite movie, my favorite Christmas movie. I'm going with George Bailey as my number one.
George Bailey off the board. George Bailey is a.
I mean, how can you not? The guy does everything, and he does it all for the good of others. I mean, that's like a Christmas, MVP right there.
Well, he's great.
Of course.
I mean, he married a total hottie too.
He did.
I didn't know about Donna Reed, but I've learned about Donna Reed. I know people on the board. We probably have some people on the board who are probably Donna Reed folks.
Just keep your pants on.
Keep your pants on.
Send all pictures to First
To T,
Amendment
to T.
CEO.
//T. And how about a little support there in the
All right,
thumbs up.
yeah.
All right, so you get to go. I'm ready. I bet snake it, so I got 3 picks here
I
ready to
mean,
go.
I'm just going with my first round pick because it's my all-time favorite. I'm going with Tiny Tim Cratchit.
Woo!
A Christmas Carol, 1951, black and white. My other grandmother's house, watching the final line of the movie get delivered. Kind of just sends you off onto a little Christmas journey.
Tiny Tim. Nice.
It just, just the final line of the freaking movie, and when he says, a Merry Christmas to all,
Oh.
God bless us, everyone.
You lose it every time.
Like, man, it's tough. It gets a little.
What gets you more emotional, Kev? Little Drummer Boy?
Little Drummer
or
Boy.
Tiny
Little Drummer Boy,
Tim?
first time in the car on the Christmas Music Channel. Little Bing Crosby. boom, you know it's coming.
Just
You're like,
giving
he
you all
just-
you
All he
got.
could do was drum.
I can't.
It was his
it's hard
talent.
for me to listen
That's
to the
his
whole
gift.
song. I can't listen to the whole song.
That's the greatest. The greatest.
This is my gift to you. Pum, 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 pum.
I have no gift to bring.
I have no gift to bring. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, so you guys have left me with the cupboard full. I get to go back to back, so I got a real Chris Samuels, LeVar Arrington situation. Who do I take first? Who's getting the higher salary? So I'm going to I'm going to make this guy a first round draft pick because I think he belongs in the first round. John McClane, the hero of my favorite #1 Christmas movie.
So you
Die
think
Hard.
it's a Christmas movie?
It's 100% a Christmas movie.
Not a Christmas movie.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and John McClane is
not
my
a
favorite
Christmas
character in a Christmas movie.
We've had this argument
Yes, we
over the
have.
last 100 years, 1,000 times.
have.
I'm
Not
standing on the sidelines.
Christmas movie.
Okay, everyone.
Everyone
gets-
can do what they want.
Yeah, of course, of course.
All right,
course.
who's your
I
first
get
of
to
all,
back that up.
Regardless, he's
Yeah.
a great character. He was hysterical. Yippee-ki-yay, all of it.
Badass.
My dad loved it.
Barefoot in the glass.
We all loved it. It was just, I can't believe they let me watch it then, but
Mm-hmm.
they did. And it was awesome. And yeah. All right, who else you got there?
All right,
brother?
so I have some people who I'm hoping might slip a little bit, but I know this guy won't. And I hate to pay him second round money, but Clark W. Griswold is he needs to be off the board in a hurry. And I just feel like John McClane and Clark W. Griswold. I feel
Well,
like
I mean,
just
Clark
got it.
Griswold. I can't believe he's gone.
He went in the second round. He fell to the second
Because
round.
he obviously was even in my, probably in Ken's too. I mean, come on. Great pick. Can't go wrong.
All right, so Kevin comes back to you.
Frank Cross, Bill Murray,
Oh,
Scrooge.
Oh, that's
He's not on
You stole that
any-
from me.
No, he's not on any of the internet.
I have to. He's my guy. That's what I remember. When I remember Chris, I went and just remembered who I remember, like who I'm gonna watch, what movies I want to watch this Christmas. Not what movies that everyone else want to watch. What do I want to watch? If I'm by myself feeling Christmassy, and I'm gonna watch Bill Murray's crazy ass do work as a TV president, making everyone work to produce a Christmas Carol on Christmas Eve. Firing Bobcat Goldthwait, one of the early scenes.
amazing.
He's so good at being a dick.
He was. And Kev, that was one of the first real irreverent Christmas movies. Like when Frank
It was.
Cross, when he, behind his desk, and I'll never forget this, and as we're all Catholic, and I know a bunch of folks on here from our fellow Catholic schools can appreciate the humor in it. This character who had a poster behind his desk that said cross, and like the Webster definition of the word cross. I think they nailed people to, and it was like, oh my god, can they do that? Like I just watched that on TV.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas. He was such a dick,
He was great
and,
at it.
but Bill Murray just makes it work.
I read that 4 years since Ghostbusters when he made this movie.
Yep.
He was trying to like chill out. He couldn't go anywhere
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, but he nailed it. He came back in and just nailed it. He brought all his
No
brothers
pun
with
intended.
him. It
Yes.
was,
Oh, yes.
It was, yeah, that was some pretty good stuff.
When the Ghost of Christmas Present, that's the ballerina chick, right? Who like and just like
okay. She was great.
Christine Christina
Ca-
Peterson
Lady
or
Luck.
Karen Kane.
not his girlfriend.
I know. What was her name?
The one she
The
was from
Ghost of
Taxi.
The Ghost of Christmas Present.
Yeah.
From Taxi.
From
Crazy
Taxi.
hair. She threw the punch. She had the like flirty.
Come
eyes.
on board.
Cut's girlfriend.
Her name was
I thought it was Christina
Carol
Peterson
Carol Kane, maybe.
in real
Taxi?
life.
Yes.
Oh no, yeah. When she
I'm
gives
talking about the actress.
when she
was
gives
the
him
Ghost
an
of Christmas
uppercut.
Present.
yeah, we're gonna find it out.
All right.
We're gonna find it out. But when she punches him in the face
Yes.
like multiple times, I laugh out loud.
She hits him with all kinds of shit. She's
Yes.
throwing something at him.
Yes.
She doesn't deal with any of his bullshit. And she had that she had a nice little dress on. She was.
It was great. All right, so here we go. We got. You're right. It was Carol
Carol
Kane.
Kane.
You nailed it.
I
Carol
don't even
Kane.
know who she is.
Dude, that's
No, I
right.
know she is from Taxi.
He is from Taxi.
And from punching him in the face in
And
Scrooge,
from
which
punching
it's
Bill
hysterical.
Murray in the face.
He deserved it. He
Bobcat
really deserved
Goldthwait's character was amazing,
Elliot?
without a doubt.
it. Elliot.
But all right, so T, you're up.
Well, this is a Christmas list, right?
Christmas movie
I mean,
characters.
but how could he slip to 7?
Uh-oh.
Kris Kringle himself from A Miracle on 34th Street. How can you not have
Yeah. No, he's good. He's great.
The jolly fat man, and the best one portrayed, by the way.
But yeah, because he was the actual Santa Claus.
There you go.
That's the whole thing.
There
That's
you
why
go.
it's like
I have the actual Santa Claus, and I'm paying him second round money. I mean, how crazy is that?
You know Macy's is gonna be able to.
Bill Murray's still funnier.
Sorry. I have a sleigh that can fly.
He is. Whenever you get the actual Santa Claus involved, you pretty much
that's
made
what
it.
I was going with.
Yeah.
I mean, you
No,
can
no.
straight up take Santa from some movie then.
But the Miracle on 34th Street.
I get
that
it. He
might
sat
be
in court.
That's the
and
actual
he
Santa Claus.
pretended he was like just
In a
a
court of
regular
law.
guy. I know.
A jury of our peers
I know.
found
Him.
that he was Santa.
He was Santa.
That is pretty irrefutable. So I do love that. Ken Harris, by the way, you're on the clock for 2 picks. So I hope you got them ready. We're going to vamp for you for a second or two. I would like to talk just one more second about Scrooged. I feel like it gets overlooked in a way that I'm uncomfortable with. I think it's one of the greatest Christmas movies out there.
No, well, I mean, that's evident by the way it gets, run on.
Well, but I think it's
Over
I
and
just
over
I don't
again.
I think it falls in people's rankings because it's a Christmas Carol movie. Like there's so many Christmas Carol movies, right? I mean, it's Charles Dickens. He's Charles Dickens,
I
who's
actually
credited
read
with
something that it
inventing
might
it.
be Scrooge might be one of the most written characters over and over and over in adaptations and
Yeah.
different. I mean, ever.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
Kevin
Yeah,
McAllister.
He went up and took my pick.
Kevin McAllister.
Oh, no, he's
from
got 2. He's
Home
got
Alone.
2. I apologize. He didn't. Well,
He's got 2 picks.
he was. I didn't know who to take with Frank Cross or Kevin McAllister. Are you kidding me? If you're an 80s kid or a Goonies guy, he was single man
It's a
Goonies.
great pick.
I know it's overstated almost, but you
could've
can't,
gone earlier,
you can't
but no,
ignore him.
that's-
The
I mean,
kid was one of
No.
the great.
It was
The booby traps, the craziness, the ordering the food,
The calmness.
the gangster movie, the
Come on,
freaking.
dude. He didn't
All of
freak
it.
out.
He helped out the neighbor, like
Yeah.
reunite with his kid.
quick thinking.
Oh,
When basically made Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern for me. And when they
all right. Let's just take it easy over
Yeah.
here.
Okay, all right.
Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
how about this?
Sheesh.
I heard one of the coolest lines from I forget who it was.
and Ken took Buddy the Elf. I mean,
Buddy the
holy
Elf is gone.
moly.
Strong.
When someone referred to not to ruin anyone's night, but I don't think it will. I got a great Home Alone reference on the news within the last 2 months. When people were talking about Vladimir Putin deciding to go to war with Ukraine, he had no idea what he was doing. I watched a news report, a news guy go Vladimir Putin was like going through Kevin McAllister's house, like in Home Alone. He had no idea what was going on. He just marches over the line and he's stepping on nails and slipping on ice and getting hit in the head with irons. By the way, have you ever watched any of those scenes without tears in your eyes? Because I haven't. I don't know why. It's the dumbest form of comedy, and it never fails to make me like die in my chair.
Well, you get Joe Pesci, who's
I know.
pretty believable as a bad guy, as the brains of the bad guy operation. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
come on, man. You start to look at that guy, and he does a little gold tooth thing, and he's got that look. He dressed up like a cop and went into their freaking house.
In their house.
He was in their house. Like, he couldn't even get himself. They handed him a pizza. Like,
Yeah.
that movie, every single time, it hits. It
When
hits every
the
single
pizza
time.
driver knocks over the statue in the front the second time, that makes me laugh too.
And you already knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
T, you're up, buddy.
Well, I got 2, pretty solid picks, but
Okay.
as Kevin pointed out, there's something lacking on my team. I mean, I've got George Bailey, who's
He's a classic.
as good as you can get. Can't get any better.
That's a point
than
guard.
Santa himself.
Yeah. Well,
So-
but you have Santa himself already.
They all take shits, and somebody's got to clean out the shitter. So
Ooh.
I'm taking Eddie.
Oh, I want to. You know what? You stopped me from
Morning.
doing. You stopped me from
He
doing.
wasn't going to be there when it comes back.
No, there was
I
no
needed-
way. I'm not.
I needed
taking
to
Eddie.
add some color. I mean, literally add some color to my characters.
Eddie
'cause I think
Griswold.
both my first 2 characters are black and white. So
If I could, yeah, you're right. If I could go.
No, you're just
well,
white. You
They're all
nailed
white.
it.
I would have gone Eddie
That's
Clark.
funny.
The Eddie Clark tandem would have won me the draft, and I would have done it, but I can't do it. So
All right.
All right.
Well, it looks like it's on me.
on you.
All right, man. I am going to go a little new school, and I'm going Jim Carrey in The Grinch. It was ridiculous. I think it's the highest grossing, which I don't care about, but most entertaining. He ad libs the whole time. He throws some stuff in there that you're not supposed to be saying. The dude spent 92 days in latex second skin. He did this costume for 92 days. It was like yak hair. But I just remember watching a documentary on it. On like day 3, he told Ron Howard, he was like, "I'm done. This is like being buried alive." So they said he went and talked to a CIA expert about how to handle torture. What they do, what they teach, and he became like a Zen master while sitting in a makeup chair every day. But he'd go out there and dominate. If you watch that again with your kids,
I just did,
it's the
Kevin.
most entertaining.
2 days ago,
Yeah.
and I watched it with a fresh set of eyes, and I
It's great.
appreciated it in a way I never have. 48 hours ago, Kevin. So I appreciate the pick. I think
Rule
it's
check,
true.
though.
Rule check. What
He
do you
has
got?
the Grinch.
No. He
Period.
has the Grinch from
He
that
has
movie.
The Grinch.
You're a mean one.
That's fine. I think we.
Yeah, I
this
watched
is
the whole
this is-
movie too.
Can someone take another Grinch?
I don't know. If you
Everyone
want to
has one
waste,
just
pick
a rule
left.
check.
I don't think so. There's
everyone
4
has one
picks
pick.
left,
We,
so.
we scheduled for 4 rounds. This is scheduled for 4 rounds. If you want to take you just want to take the Grinch. Listen, we at,
you want-
at the beginning of the show, we even talked about you
Just a
losing
rule
your
check.
Grinch suit.
Just a rule
All right,
check.
it's a
you
good
got
rule
all
check.
you got all lawyer
'Cause
Grinchy.
nobody up till now has
It's a
actually
good
pointed
rule
out
check.
the actual actor that played. So
Well, that's the one I wanted. That's the Grinch I
there you
chose.
go. That's your Grinch.
It's my Grinch.
All right, so I'm up. It's the
I had to tell my Tiny Tim as well.
I gotta go. I gotta dip from probably my number 2 all-time Christmas movie, which is White Christmas. Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, Rosemary Clooney, and the like. But my favorite character from that movie, not the Haynes sisters, not Bob Wallace, not of course not Phil Davis. I love them all. But you tune into that movie, in my humble opinion, for a man in uniform, Major General Thomas F. Waverly, played by Dean Jagger. It's my favorite Christmas movie of like the
hell is he
old
talking
school Christmas movies. I hope that people out there, I know people have been talking about
What's
it
the
on
name
here.
of the movie?
White Christmas. You may have heard of it. It's Bing Crosby. It's old school. It's 1940s, and
The
General-
Rat Pack in there? Is it a little
no,
Sinatra
no,
in
no,
there? No
nope,
Dino?
nope,
All right.
nope. If you've never seen it, please do yourself a favor. It is a great Christmas movie. But General Waverly is one of my all-time favorite characters. Not to mention, wears the greatest home jersey in the world, as we'd like to say at First Amendment Sports. But the movie does. Thank you, John Toohey. Appreciate your support. The movie does give us what we want in a awesome. You know what? It's a great movie, and it's also a Christmas movie, and I get to go back to back. I had to pay homage to my favorite movie.
Thanks for clearing that one up. The homage thing. Sorry.
Homage. You're talking about some homage? I got some homage for you. I paid some homage
I got
to
you.
General Waverly.
I know you did. I know.
Snow. Tom Marangolo knows what it's all about. They trained me. They trained me well on White Christmas. I'm gonna go 4th round. I'm gonna sweep up another top 5 Christmas movie of mine. I'm gonna dip in, and I hope people are gonna appreciate it. It's a character called Gus, played by a man named Dennis Leary, in a movie called The Ref. Have we seen it?
How is this a Christmas movie?
Wait, The Ref is a Christmas movie. Have you seen The Ref?
Yes.
Have you seen The Ref?
I believe
I
I've
saw
seen
it like
portions of it.
25 years ago.
Of course. White Christmas
And
came out in the 40s, dude. I'm
Haven't
not talking
seen-
this isn't new
haven't
stuff.
seen it since.
The Ref is, and I love The Ref. It's Dennis Leary and one of his better characters. Kevin Spacey, before it wasn't okay to watch him as an actor, he played a character, and it was an awesome movie. Dennis Leary was
Before
laugh
you
out loud
knew
funny.
he was weird. He was
Yeah.
weird then.
He was weird then. We just didn't know it. He was just a great actor. Now he's toxic. But the movie itself, The Ref, is amazing. If you get a chance to watch The Ref, you're not going to be let down. The Christmas movie genre is almost like a B movie genre. Like horror movies or some of these other movies. Exactly, Greg, Harry and Marv. Of course, that was.
Why do you keep doing
Hold
this
on.
to me?
I know.
You're killing my table talk. Now I have to pick somebody else.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I thought he
no,
was
I-
giving a linkage over from The Ref.
Yeah.
Watch The Ref. It's fun. It is a Christmas movie, and Dennis Leary's amazing. So I'm good. I got since I'm the first one to finish up, John McClane, Clark Griswold, General Waverly, and Gus. Kev?
So after your fourth, you get to announce your starting four.
Yeah, my starting
All
four.
right, all right. I'm gonna make a off the beaten path pick here, but this is I think my favorite Christmas character in recent years. The Elf is one of my favorite. I watch it every year. I can watch it multiple times. Jovi, the Zoe Deschanel character.
She's great.
The baby it's cold outside scene when her water goes off in her apartment. She's got a shower at
she's
Gimbals.
cute.
She's hanging out
Yeah.
at Gimbals over the holidays. He comes up and introduces herself.
And he's-
She's not some snobby ass New York
He's sitting
chick.
on the counter,
She's nice.
doing his-
She's nice, and she knows he's bonkers, but she's still kind, and she's always
She's a great
nice.
singer.
And that when she's singing that's like that's a great freaking scene in holiday stuff. That scene itself, and when she busts out, and then she comes up to him, she's like, "What were you doing? Why are we doing that?" Blah blah. And he was just like, and they still talk about it in interviews. I love that scene. She's cute as a button in it. And
Kevin, can I ask you a
the
question?
best way to spread Christmas cheer is to sing loud for
Sing
all to
loud
hear. And
for
she
all to
does
hear.
it and saves the whole day in Central Park, man.
She sure does.
And then she gets married, and her father-in-laws are does anyone know
Bob
who her
Newhart
and
and freaking Sonny from The Godfather.
Sonny Corleone,
Sonny Corleone.
and Bob Newhart are her
Bob Newhart, her
father-in-law,
godfather.
and she's married to Will Ferrell. I mean, she's doing pretty good this Christmas.
It's a really good one.
I'm digging Zoe.
The cool part about her singing that song is that the song has been, I think the more you listen to it, the more kind of creepy it kind
Well,
of
it
is.
used to be super creepy. Now it's just straight up creepy.
Straight up creepy.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was in the bathroom while she was showering and he's just like, "Ah, baby, it's
He
going."
was an elf.
He was an elf.
He's just a big old elf.
It really like lent itself perfectly to the song. Now, as a Zoe,
did.
I'm a big Zoe fan.
Me too.
Can I ask you, did that make you want or watch New Girl, her show?
And I did.
Okay,
And-
good.
well, because Aaron watched it. So
All right,
watched
I
it.
love. I
But,
thought it was great. But,
But
Zoe Deschanel is
she's
amazing.
fun. Her calmness and her like just cuteness and her character and that
Yeah.
Christmassy thing. Like, come on, man, just get in there, Zoe. Merry
Yeah.
Christmas. So I get to say
Yeah,
I got
who do you got? Who's starting four?
man, I got Tiny Tim,
That's pretty strong.
Frank Cross,
That's
the Grinch, and Jovi.
I'm
I think
sending
Jovi
Frank.
Hobbs is
I'm
her
sending
name.
Frank Cross off the bus first. By the way, I don't know why, but I love
You're
it.
what?
I'm sending Frank Cross off the bus first.
Yeah, well, you got to
on
send
in
Frank
road
off the
games.
bus first, or Tiny Tim, and then bring Frank Cross right behind.
Right
him.
behind it. See?
So many deserving people, but I'm going to go with my sort of the one that I thought maybe you guys didn't have. I needed it, but I loved it so much when I saw it. And he's not a main character,
That's fine.
but I would love to have on my team Yukon Cornelius.
Okay. Go on.
He's a badass. He tamed a Yeti.
He tamed a Yeti.
What are you talking about? And he's,
He
deep
threw him
down,
off a
he's
mountain
gruff.
because he knew he could bounce.
He's gruff. He's kind of his own man, but at the end, he's soft-hearted. He's a great guy to have on your team. He'd be coming off my bus first because he would be followed by Eddie, George Bailey, and Chris Kringle himself.
And everyone thought he was greedy,
a pretty
sniffing
good
around for the
lineup.
gold and silver.
Yeah.
He was looking for the peppermint mine. And when he found it, it was a peppermint mine.
I
That's
wish
all,
I
that's all he
could
wanted.
put a picture of you.
He didn't want the gold.
Up there. He's just
There's
so,
a lot
so
of guys
great.
that remind me of Yukon Cornelius.
He's got a great mustache.
Everybody needs a Yukon Cornelius in their life.
He's a great Christmas movie character
Mine's
too.
Joe Aschenbach, by the way.
That's your Yukon Cornelius?
In real life.
In real life, you have a Yukon Cornelius. All right, fair enough.
Where's Ken's?
All right, so Ken Harris, you get to bring us Mr. Irrelevant of this draft. Mr. Irrelevant of the Christmas character draft of 2022.
So far, Ken's winning. All he has to do is there's a chance with a good pick here. Ken Harris takes the cake.
Oh, sure. I thought you were talking about me, but
He's got Ralphie.
oh, he's going Polar Express.
the conductor,
from
of
Tom
course.
Hanks.
So he's got Tom Hanks, he's got Buddy the Elf, he's got Kevin McAllister, and he's got Ralphie. I mean, he might have just taken it. Oh, he might have just off the boarded us.
Damn you, Ken Harris. You don't get any more first round overall picks from us. The conductor, now Polar Express, it took me a while, but I've watched it a couple times since, and He is. Do we need to give you the mouth to mouth? Does Kevin need to give you
Sorry.
mouth to mouth?
No. Good.
Okay.
Listen, Ken, I thought it was you that figured out the honey lick maneuver.
Well, I learned by watching you.
Just a little dry over here.
You are definitely going to have salary cap issues, Ken Harris. That is for sure. Tom Hanks and Will Ferrell. Tiny Tim, you're going to be able to get on a deal, but Bill Murray,
I got
forget about
Tiny
it.
Tim.
Sorry.
that's me.
Kevin McAllister, you might. He's might be
McAllister's
looking for work.
loaded. Yeah, he's like the Rams last year, Ken Harris.
Yeah.
You better win it this year because next year.
Yeah, you're going to be a little long in the tooth. All right, well, we appreciate you guys. We'll be back next Tuesday night. Any reason why you guys?
I don't see why not.
All right, we'll be back next Tuesday night to talk about a Giants destruction.
Another Victory Tuesday after an actual win. How about
Victory Tuesday.
Not a tie or a bye.
Not a tie, not a bye. Until then, on behalf of First Amendment Sports, happy, healthy holiday season for everyone out there. Appreciate you guys on the board. Thanks for being with us. Tell a friend. We got an opening. We got an opening for a subscriber. We might be able to squeeze a couple, maybe two, maybe three. But I know for sure we have room for one. Tell a friend. Until then, he's Tim Strachan.
Appreciate it. Love it. Let's keep these Victory Tuesdays going, fellas and
He's
ladies.
Kevin Arica.
Yes, and everyone this time of year, it'd be nice just for everyone to be a little nicer to each other.
Yes,
you know
it
what
would.
I mean. And I'm going to try my best. I reminded myself today, and this board always reminds me it's fun gathering around with a bunch of folks like this. So let's keep it going that way.
I'm Ken Marangolo. This was Thank God It's Tuesday. We are still live.
So honorable mentions, right?
Was you a Mary Marv?
Harry and Marv.
I had Harry and Marv. Ken kept
But
table
were
talking,
they
so I couldn't
one
say it
person or
anymore.
could you only take Harry
I did
and then
them
Marv?
separate. I did them separate.
See, a lot of the lists that I look at had them together. It was crazy.
I just did my favorite guys and wrote them down.
can't be together.
Right, you can't have
No,
someone.
they're kind of like
No, but Joe Pesci himself.
they're kind of like
Right.
Marv's
I
the
liked
funny
Harry
one.
better. Harry's the
But
leader.
Harry's the leader.
Harry's
yeah.
Pesci.
Yeah.
I know, but I love Daniel's turn.
Yeah.
What can I say?
I mean, Joe Pesci's Joe Pesci. That's why I love Joe Pesci.